Hello and welcome to another episode of GCTV. My name's Graham Reed. Today we are going to attempt to take a look at Messenger and specifically the incoming screen. I say that because I just recorded half this video a moment ago and the battery on the camera ran out, which was brilliant. So we'll try again and hopefully the battery's got some charge on it. It's a very short video just to take a look around the incoming screen, just to explain a little bit more about what it is, how it works. The incoming screen, funny enough, as it suggests, is designed to manage the incoming messages into the school. Originally, back in the day, this was designed for SMS text messages because that's how everybody was communicating with their school. These days, it does a little bit more than that. It also deals with expressions, and it allows you to do more with the messages that come in. For instance, replying to them or forwarding them off to other members of staff to look at as well. And all of those features came about based on your feedback as customers. So let's have a quick look at the incoming screen on here. So this is another pre-recorded video, so I'm going to stop and start on this as I go through. So this is the incoming screen. So what we can see on here, these are all the incoming messages that we have had from parents, typically about responses to or in fact I should say up until very recently these were all responses to messages that went out. Very rarely did parents actually proactively message the school with anything. Actually, since we launched Expressions and since over the summer of 2017 we launched the facility for parents to compose incoming messages, or to sort of compose expressions I should say, to the school themselves proactively, this is now used to monitor those as well. So what we can see on here is these are all of the incoming messages. I can see who has sent it, I can see the student that it is regarding. Now on that point, Messenger cannot know who a message is about, particularly if an SMS message I should say. You cannot know this because when you send a text message it doesn't have any sort of header information. It's simply a 160 message that comes in from a number. The only way that we know who it has come from is by comparing that number to somebody in the database. It may know who it is regarding if the parent has only got one child, so we make a good assumption that that is who the message is about. If they have two children or more, we cannot know that. So we leave it blank. So we have the numbers. We have the name of who it is and who it is regarding, the subject, the message itself. Just a quick point on that, if you are using the Expressions incoming facility, you will see the categories that you would have set up as a school encased in square brackets. If you don't use this already, I very much recommend you do use this, particularly if your school is using Expressions for your parents, because it allows the parents to compose proactively messages. You can set the categories that the parent will select when they come to send a message. So it could be about an attendance issue, a conduct issue. They might want to set up a meeting with the head teacher. It may just be a general inquiry. You can set those up and the parent has to select one of those, and that's what will appear in the square brackets to help you categorize those messages as they come in. We can see when the message was received, and if your school is using your MIS write-back facility, that date will be included when any information is written back into the MIS around an attendance related issue. So when you do that particular, and we'll look at how to do that in a moment, that date will be filled in. We can click on unknown contacts as well. So we have two different varieties of messages that come in. They are either from contacts that are in your database and so they are known, or they are from unknown contacts. This will be a real mixture between spam, which you can then just ignore, or they will be messages from parents whereby maybe they have not given you their latest mobile number. And so maybe they need to be added or updated into the database. It is worth checking through this screen on a regular basis just to make sure that no messages are being missed. And now we can select one of the messages and we can take a look at this in a little bit more detail and see what tools are available. Now, the critical thing about the incoming screen is it is not a contact history with that particular parent. It is solely for looking at the incoming messages. What we do to assist is we can show all of the past messages to that parent from that particular point in time. So this message that I have clicked on here is a particular date associated with it. We can show all the messages previous to that particular time, that moment in time that has come in or gone out to that parent to help you get a context of the message history. Perhaps there's a conversation going on here. It will not show future messages, so even if you reply to this message, which we'll see in a moment, it will not show that message here. If you want to see the contact history, the complete contact history, you need to go to the contacts record, which you can actually access directly from here by clicking on the parent's name or even the child's name, which is just under the conversation, the word conversation on the left hand side. So the conversation history we can see on here, we can see the messages that have happened, that have gone out or come in. The darker green ones are ones that have gone out, the lighter green ones are the ones that have come in. That's also signified by the icon on the left hand side. So the KA is from Kimberly Acton, the parent. The little house symbol or the little building symbol is the school, has sent that message out. So we can see the content of the messages. We can see, in particular, if you have written back attendance related information, you can see these indented messages on here. This shows you the contents that has been written back, so the date, the session, so the attendance session, who this child was, the mark, in this case the I mark that was recorded, the message, the reason for attendance or absence that was sent in by the parent was also included on there as well, and a date and a timestamp of when this occurred. The icons on the right hand side of that message will tell you what has happened with that message. So if it's black, it will say that the information has been sent off to the MIS. If it is green, that means we've had or Messenger has had confirmation that that information has been successfully written to the database. Different icons on the right hand side as well tell you the different types of messages, whether they were text messages or they were expressions that had been sent out or come in. And we can also see on the right hand side as well the time of when those messages occurred. And again, just to make the point clear, this may not be the most recent message. This is not a complete history. There may be newer messages that have come in or even gone out to this particular parent. And so let's take a look at the tools that are available on these messages. We have 4 of them generally. We can translate this message. So as we translate this message, maybe the message that has come in is in a foreign language, particularly prevalent across certain areas of the country where the parent does not speak English. Now, of course, in another area of Messenger, and we'll be on another video, there is the translation option that allows you to translate the outgoing message to whatever language has been recorded in the MIS against this particular parent. You can also send it in English as well. That's for another video. What this allows you to do is if the message has come in a non-English language, then you can translate it into English. What that will do is it will translate it into English and include both versions in this record on here, so you can see the original message and the translated message. Usual health warning with that, uses Google Translate, 99.9% works all the time very well, but you know, it is an automated translation mechanism, so it is not infallible. So we can translate this. We can update the attendance. So if this message has come in about an attendance related issue, we can open this up. We can select the student if there's multiple students available. Remember, as I said earlier, Messenger cannot know who this message is about because we don't receive that information. And interesting enough, expressions we do. We can detect who an incoming message is regarding expressions because that is selected as part of the parent's wizard. So that expressions will know that. We can see the date, we can select the attendance code for that date. If it's not today, you can change the date. You can select the attendance code out of your MIS. You can, the notes will automatically be added. That is taken from the message that's coming in from the parent. And also, if you have translated that message, it will include both the original and the translated message as part of the notes, and that notes goes into the absence note piece within your MIS. You can reply to this message directly from here as well. Rather than going into a brand new message, you can reply directly from here. So you can say, thank you very much, acknowledgement that you have got this absence message. You can set it as a broadcast or an open to allow a parent to potentially further respond to this. And you can set it as an expression as well, if you or instead if you want to as well, particularly if they have been sending the messages in via expressions. It makes sense to send it in that method as well. And finally, we can also forward this message. We added this over the summer of 2017. So this is the ability to send the incoming message as well as a comment against this off to a particular member of staff. This will be emailed off to the member of staff. You can either send it to somebody that Messenger already knows about, so a member of staff that has been imported into Messenger, or you can manually enter an email address. So perhaps it is off to the swimming coach or the football coach, but to tell them they're not going to be into today. So you can manually enter one or several email addresses in there, comma separated, and that will send that message, the message that the parent has sent as an email off, along with your own comments to that. So that's it. If you have any questions, as always, email me at gctv@groupcall.com. Follow us on Twitter, and I will look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks very much. Ba 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 ba.